Okay, now we're going to talk about falling in love with the process and that first portion of it. So falling in love with the process, you guys, it doesn't matter who you are, when you started your Mary Kay business, how long you've been in the business. First of all, I want you to know you will have to fall in love with booking, coaching, selling, and sharing the business. And follow up. Follow up, follow up. I don't know if anybody's ever told you this or not, but follow up, there is a fortune to be made in the follow up. So you're going to fall in love with this process. And the first thing that we're going to talk about today is booking. And a lot of us use the power booking plan, and the way that it works is you set yourself up into a rotation of how often that you're going to follow up with people. One of the things that I think is most shocking is this right here. And I want you to know that booking is the lifeline to your business. And so I want you to get in a place where you constantly have lead sources coming in, that you have 50 to 100 leads coming in every single week, that you have so many appointments on your date book that when you have a cancellation, you feel a little bit of relief. Okay, that's where I want you to get to. Because right now, if you have a cancellation or something that reschedules and you're in devastation, it's only because you don't have enough appointments on your date book at this particular time. But if you will work on your lead source generation and have those 50 to 100 leads popping in to your date book every single week, doing that through referrals, doing it through restaurant promos, honoring women, your lead boxes, booking parties from your parties, all of those avenues, you will always have a flow of parties on your book, a flow of beauty experiences on your date book. And you'll never have to worry. You'll never feel devastated. You're never going to feel like a moment of panic because I don't have enough parties on my date book. You're going to have so many that you don't know what to do with them. But I want to take a look at this. Would you be surprised to know that 48% of all people never follow up? So let's just say 48% of you never follow up on your appointments that you reach out to, the people you reach out to, never follow up with a client that you've sold product to, never follow up. 25% make a second contact and stop. So let me ask you this question. How many of you have reached out to someone about getting together to try the products? How many times have you reached out to someone and for whatever reason and they never got back to you? And so you're like, oh, she just doesn't want to get together with me because she doesn't like me and she doesn't like Mary Kay and she's judging and she's this and she's that. Really? How many times has somebody texted you, called you, left a voice message for you, messaged you on Facebook, and you never got back to them? Was it because you didn't like her? Was it because you were judging her? No, it was because we have a very busy life. And so a lot of times people will say to me, Christy, thank you so much for following up with me like 3 or 4 or 12 times. I would have missed out on this opportunity if you had not been persistent about it. So 12% make a contact 3 times and stop. 10% make more than 3 contacts. 2%, and then 2% of sales. Let's just say 2% of all bookings are made on the first contact. 3% are made on the second contact. 5% on the third. 10 on the fourth. 80%, you guys. 80% is made on the 5th to the 12th contact. Can you believe that? So I want you to also get out of your mind that when someone doesn't respond back to you with an immediate response, it has nothing to do with you. Stop taking it personal. If you think that they're thinking something about you, I guarantee you they are not. They are not. So with the power booking plan, you want to prepare. First of all, you want to have a tracking system, and we're going to talk about a tracking system, a couple of methods of having a tracking system. What works for me may not work for you, and you may want to do something completely different, but I'm going to explain 2 different tracking systems to you, and you do it however you want to do it. The second thing you want to do is from that weekly plan sheet that we did last week, you want to have your date bookmarked for the times that you are willing to hold appointments. You stay in control of that. And there was one thing that I didn't say last week when it pertains to the weekly plan sheet. But let's just say that you have on your weekly plan sheet that every Thursday evening, you're going to be out the door holding an appointment. So let's just say there's a Thursday evening that you don't have an appointment booked, or it gets canceled, or it gets rescheduled. What are you going to do that night? Are you going to sit at home and you're going to watch Grey's Anatomy or whatever is on Thursday nights? Or are you going to leave the house dressed for success and go find some business that you can generate? You know what? If your family knows that Thursday night is a Mary Kay work night for you, and just because you have a cancellation, you sit at home on the couch watching TV, they are not going to take your business seriously. But if your family knows that Thursday night is a work night for you, you're going to get in your car and you're going to leave your house every Thursday night, whether you have a party booked or not, they are going to take your business seriously. So let's just say you don't have an appointment booked on a Thursday night, but that is a work night for you. What else could you do to fill that time? You could make other booking calls. You could go out and meet new people. You could do some follow-up. I mean, there are a million things that you could still do to honor your business and honor your work schedule. So when you take your work schedule seriously, so will your family. Okay, so have your date book marked. That's part of the preparation process, and create your tracking system. So you're going to create either an index card, which is what I use. It's going to look kind of like this. Going to look kind of like that, and I'll share a little bit more information about my index card system. Or you're going to create a sheet, and let me show you what the sheet looks like. The sheet is going to look something like this. So you're going to either use this sheet or you're going to use an index card for during the preparation process. And you are going to, on the sheet, you're either going to make a list of every person, you're going to tell how you know that person, put their contact information on that person, or you're going to create an index card for every person. And so this is a new list. Like if there are people on that original list that never booked with you, no one comes off the list until they say no thank you, or they book an appointment with you, or they make a purchase from you. Okay, so just keep that in mind. And so with the tracking system, what I do is, so you start with day one, okay? So you start with day one. So let's just, I'm going to flip over here to this tracking sheet. So let's just say this is day one. And you make a list of every person that you're going to contact on day one. And April 15th is going to be day one. You've made a list of every person that you're going to contact on April 15th. Either that, or you've made an index card for every person that you're going to see, that you're going to contact on April 15th. And so there's like several cards here. I've got several cards. I'm going to contact all of these people on April 15th. So you put their name down, how you met them, and the reason that you want to put how you met them is so that you know which script that you're going to use with them. You're going to put their contact information, whether it's phone or email, texting. Most normal people don't have Voxers. We're not normal people. Although I am finding more and more people in the general public who do have a Voxer set up. So on day one, this is day one, April 15th is going to be day one for every person on this list. Okay, do you understand what I'm saying? So you've reached out to them. You want to reach out to them with two forms of communication. So you might call her. You don't get an answer. Hey, Susie, this is Christy. There was something really exciting I wanted to share with you. Give me a call back as soon as you can, okay? My number is da-da-da-da-da. Then I will immediately hang up and I'm going to shoot her a text message. Hey, Susie, I just left you a voice message. I have something very exciting that I want to share with you. Give me a call back as soon as you can. That is like some serious excitement right there. So on day one, you're going to put 4:15 up here at the top. You're contacting every single person on this list on 4:15. In this little square right here, you're going to write down the two forms of communication you had with her. Of course, if you get in touch with her, it's just going to be one form of communication. So then what you're going to do, let's just say for every single person on this list, you did not get to talk to them physically. So you're going to, this is going to be 4/15. In 4 days, so on April 19th, you're going to pull this list back out and you're going to recontact every single person on 4/19, because it's 4 days later. And then on day 7, which is 3 days from then, so that would be 19, 20, 21, 22, April 22nd, you're going to contact every person on this list that you haven't gotten to talk to. And then on day 11, you're going to do the same thing. Okay, you make a new sheet for every start date. So let's just say you have a sheet for April 15th. This is going to be a start date. April 17th, this is going to be a start date. I do the same thing with my cards. And so with the card, I put in, you know, their name, their phone number, how I met them. Once I have an appointment booked with them, I highlight it. But I have it set up in my little accordion file on how I'm going to follow up with them. Okay, so it's just like this. And so in 4 days, if I reach out to them today on April 15th, I don't hear anything back from them, I pull their card back out on April 19th. So I've moved it from the 15th, the initial date, back 4 days, April the 19th. And I open my little accordion file. I'm like, okay, it's April the 19th. Who is it that I need to reach out to today? Oh, I need to reach out to Cara because I reached out to her on the 15th. And she did not get back in touch with me, so I need to reach out to her again. So you bring out all those people that you had initially contacted on the 15th. They've moved back to the 19th because it's 4 days later. I hope that's making sense. If it's not, please let me know. Regardless of the tracking sheet that you use, it does not matter. Just make sure that you're tracking. So guys, this is part of the follow-up process. I know that some of you all know, like I work with a lot of cold leads, and most of you are going to be working with a lot of cold leads. A lot of times when you reach out to people the first time, they think it's maybe a scam. But when you reach out to them the second and third time, then they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for being persistent and consistent with your follow-up. I really thought you were a scam, but now I realize you're for real. And so that is part of the reason, and the fact that we are all super busy. So let's just say that you have done the whole process of the power booking. You've reached out to them every few days you've reached out to them 4 times over 11 days, and you don't hear anything back. You can put them in your filing system to reach back out to them, let's just say in a month or 2. And when you reach back out to them, you can just like revisit why you reached out to them in the first place, okay? So that is your tracking. So with the power booking plan, you want to make sure that you keep reaching out, be persistent, be pleasantly persistent. Don't reach out to everybody every day, 3 times a day, but once a day, every 3 to 4 days, you're perfectly fine. And of course, you always want to be in good cheer with a positive attitude. Always have a grateful heart. Let that grateful heart shine through. When you're talking to them on the phone, be in front of a mirror. Be able to see yourself smile. Like you can hear it when somebody is smiling through the voice. You can also hear it if somebody's grumpy. So don't be the grumpy girl. Okay. And if you're reaching out to people that you don't know, if it's a cold lead, I mean, obviously you want to make sure that they don't already have a Mary Kay consultant. So there's a couple of ways of booking, you know, texting versus calling. I will tell you that with the power booking plan, if you call them and leave them a voicemail and you also text them, and however they respond back to you, that is probably their favored method of communication. So let's just say you reached out to Mary on voicemail and on text message, but she called you back. Then her favored method of communication is probably going to be through voice talking. If she texts you back, it's probably going to be texting. And then if you had emailed her, like sometimes I email certain people, And if they text me back some information, then I know they would prefer to text. If they call me, I know they prefer to call. Or if they email me, that's the way I will continue to follow up with them. So the follow-up is very important. And it's mainly because, number one, everyone is super busy in this day and time. The other thing is you want to make people feel important. So yesterday was Saturday, and I saw a lot of faces yesterday, and I told every single one of them, I'm going to follow up with you on Monday. I want to make sure your skin feels amazing. I'm going to make sure that it still feels amazing even 48 hours after your special treatment. And I want to make sure you are loving the product that you took home with them. You are important to me, and that is the reason I am following up with you. People want to know they are important to you. So I follow up with them in a couple of days. If I didn't book their sharing appointment at that particular moment in time, that gives me the opportunity to layer that again. If I didn't book them for their second appointment when I had them at the table, that gives me that next layer to book them for that second appointment. So follow-up is important, you guys. Like, I have walked away from a lot of parties where I didn't sell to every single person, but through my follow-up have actually gotten sales after the fact. And I think it is truly because I've made them feel important with my follow-up. The guest list. I will tell you the reason that a guest list is so important is she is not completely sold on coming until she gives you her guest list with their phone numbers, and you are letting her know that you are contacting them. I had an experience this past weekend. I could not get my hostess to respond to me, but she had given me the name and number of all of her guests. So I thought, well, there's more than one way to reach this hostess. So I started reaching out to all the guests that she had given me. And so they started responding. They're like, oh my gosh, I had no idea that Margaret had booked us for a beauty experience. I'm so excited. What time's the appointment? Where are we supposed to go? Well, guess what? Margaret contacted me. And so that's how I got that party to follow through, because I had her guest list. I sold them on the beauty experience too. They got super excited about coming. And so Margaret held her appointment. So that is one of the prime reasons you want to get that guest list along with their phone numbers. And then the importance of, we set aside every Tuesday evening to do the booking blitz. And I encourage you guys, put that on your calendar. I know Monday night, we have our Monday Night Live. Tuesday night is our booking blitz. What if that is the only time you have every single week to devote to booking appointments? If you don't devote and specifically set time aside to book appointments, it's not going to get done. And I'm not talking about sitting down in front of the TV and watching Friends while you're making booking attempts, or, cooking dinner while you're making booking attempts. No, I want you to go in your office, lock yourself in, and make a booking attempt. Set yourself a timer, and you do not get up until those booking attempts are done. I had one consultant, when she started, she had a small child that wanted to be in her space 100% of the time. So she would go and sit in her car, in her driveway, locked herself in the car in her driveway, and she made booking calls. That is the best place, really, to make booking calls, unless you're locked in your office with no interruptions. That is so important. You want to set aside at least, depending on what your goals are, no less than an hour every single week. I devote several hours. I've got time on my schedule every single day to make booking attempts. And it's because I want to see a lot of faces every month. I want us to be a national area. And you know what, you guys? Anything that I ask you to do to hit your goals, it's because I'm willing to do twice as much as I would ask you to do, okay? I want you to hit your goals. And so I want to set the example for you. And as you build your team, you want to set the example for your team as well. okay? And always have a goal. When you sit down, like that's why I always ask you all at the beginning of a booking blitz, okay, how many calls are you making tonight? And what's your goal tonight? And I'd love to follow up with you to see what your results are. I mean, we've booked, as a result of a 1 hour booking blitz, we have collectively booked like 30 parties in 1 hour. That is amazing, you guys. That is amazing. And I'll tell you, for the month of April, I would not doubt it if our team holds at least 200 parties this month. Holy cow. Can you imagine? So that is, you know, when you're getting that right frame of mind for booking those appointments, and just fall in love with it, you guys. It is a lot. I think it's a lot of fun communicating with people. So this is a tracking sheet again. So what I've included in these last few pages of week 2 Pacesetters are some scripts, and I want to explain these to you guys. So when you see here the type, so that is related to how you met someone. So if you are a new consultant and you are sending out communication, it's day 1, first day that you've communicated with someone. This is something like you might want to say to her, okay? Hey, Susie, I started training for my new Mary Kay skincare business, my new skincare business. If you want to change the wording on these, you can totally do that, make it sound like you. So this would be your day 1. And let's just say she did not get back to you on day 1. You flip over to day 4. So this is going to be script number 2, day 4. You're going to follow right along with that. Guess what? There's one for day 7 and day 11 as well. And a lot of times, you know what, I'll create my own script. So if it's something, I might take a little bit from this script and I'm like, it doesn't sound exactly like what I would want to say, then I'll change it up a little bit. If you want me to read through a script and help you tweak it a little bit, I'm more than happy to do that for you too. I also have some additional scripts for you for cold leads who've maybe won something through a facial box or the restaurant promo. So these are some additional scripts. This is day 1, day 4, day 7. And then these are from warm chatting. Warm chatting and honoring women are basically the same thing, just so you guys know. And then these are from referrals. So like always ask for those referrals at your parties, at your beauty experience. And these are some really awesome scripts that you can use to follow up with those people that's been referred to you. These are some really awesome scripts for honoring business women. So this just kind of goes through, you know, the different options that you have for following up with those girls. You all should have a script for everything by the end of this. Never a loss for words. So what happens when she says yes? First of all, I want you to stay in complete control of your date book. So first of all, I find out if she wants, you know, when she wants her appointment. Does she want an evening appointment after work, or does she want a Saturday appointment? Which works best for you? So you always want to give this, that, either or. Give her 2 choices every time. And then so she says, you know what? No, I want a weeknight appointment. Okay. Does Tuesday or Thursday work better for you? So either or. And, you know, if she wants a Saturday, say, okay, I have a 10 o'clock or a 1 o'clock available for you. I have this Saturday or this Saturday available for you. And then keep her on the phone or text message. You want to continue to ask her a few questions. I also ask all her guests the questions too. Every time I am booking appointments, I get the names of all of her guests, their phone numbers, and I shoot them a text message. And basically I say, hey, Sarah, this is Christy Dunn. This is Christy Dunn, and I am the beauty consultant that's going to be taking care of Rebecca at your beauty experience on Saturday. I wanted to take a quick moment just to say hello and introduce myself. So I send that text message. Then I send her a picture of myself. And I know that sounds really strange, but I think people make a connection with you when they know what you look like. So I send a picture of myself of a really good kind of headshot that I send to her. And then I say, you know, the beauty experience is going to take place Saturday at 1 p.m. at my studio. And this is the address, because they want to know where they're going to be going. Even though, you know, they may be coming with their friend, they want to know where they're going to be going. And then I send her, and I always just say, please answer these questions. These are just some questions about your skincare concerns and about your skin, so that I am completely prepared for you guys when you come in. Most every person, 98% of all people, will respond back to you. And most all of them will say, thank you so much for following up with me. Like, they are impressed with that. So, you know, find out. I always ask, you know, about their skin. What are they currently using? Do they have any skincare concerns? Have they ever used Mary Kay products before? And you just find out all of those things about them. And on their little card that I had originally started with, let me pull one of these back out again. So this is for Hannah. And Hannah had her guest. And so for each person, I write their name, all their information down. Like on the back here, Amanda had said she has normal skin. She's 47. I asked their age. That kind of helps me know what kind of skincare to choose for them too. She really didn't have any major concerns, but she was 47. She is concerned with anti-aging and line prevention. So immediately I'm like, oh my goodness, Amanda, you and I are about the same age. I totally can hook you up with some great skincare and anti-aging suggestions. So when you can make a connection with somebody like that, even through text message, like they feel like they know you before they walk in the door. So I hope all of this is making sense to you. So if you have just booked her for a facial, you always want to try to take it from a face to a beauty experience where she has at least 3 to 6 people there with her. So I just always say, you know what, Alicia, I can do one face as easy as I can do 6. And wouldn't it be so much fun if you shared your beauty experience with 5 of your most favorite friends? And she's like, oh, yeah, that would be a lot of fun. And, you know, who can you think of that would like to be the problem solver? Who can you think of that you would like to invite to join you? Who's your best friend? You know, who are the girls that you would call if you wanted to go see a movie or go shopping? So get that list going. Help her think about that. So if she says yes, get all the information down that you can. If she says no, hold the appointment on the day, but ask her, you know, after you've gotten it all done, did you have a great time? Would you like to do something like this for your friends? If she still says no, then ask her who she knows so that you can get some referrals from her. So these are some, you're gonna encounter objections. So obviously I'm too busy. I don't have enough time. My house isn't nice enough. I don't have anyone to invite. I don't do parties. Check with my friends. Let me see what a good date's gonna be. I wouldn't want to waste your time because I use brand X. I'm sure you've all heard that one before. I tried Mary Kay once. It broke me out. How many of you heard that before? Like every single one of you. I know that. So these are just some great things. Print this out. Have it close by when you're making those booking calls because you want to know what to say when she says this to you. And then, of course, the follow-up. Follow-up, 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 follow-up. So once I have her booked, I follow up with her about every 4 days leading up to the appointment. So, of course, initially it is, I've got you booked. And then I send her a little bit more information of what to expect. And I get the name and phone numbers of all of the people that's coming. And then once I have that information, I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you so much, Alicia, for giving me this information. I'm going to be following up with your guest on day X. And so once I've sent out the text message, or on the day that I'm sending it out, let's just say it's Thursday, I reach out to Alicia again and say, hey, Alicia, I'm so excited about our beauty experience. I cannot wait to meet you. By the way, I'm reaching out to all of your guests today. And so they like that. constant communication. I'm just going to tell you, they do. They like it. They know that you are, they know that this appointment is important to you and they are important to you. So you want to follow up. One of the biggest mistakes that I made as a new consultant is that I would book an appointment and then I wouldn't follow up because I would be afraid that she was going to cancel. Guess what? She canceled because I didn't follow up. And then afterward, like when I go to a beauty experience, I let them know on the spot, hey, you know what, gang? I am going to be following up with you in 48 hours. I want to know how your skin is doing. I want to know how you're enjoying your product. And then from there, depending on what that discussion looks like, it's going to let me know what my next follow-up is. If she is on the product, I like to see her again within 2 weeks. So she goes into that follow-up system in 2 weeks. And make a card for them. Put it in a little index thing. And you're like, okay, on April 27th, these are the people I need to follow up with because they either purchase product or they've got an appointment coming up. You know who you're following up with each time. The other thing and then once they're in that follow-up system, get them on your preferred customer program list where they are receiving a new beauty magazine from you, the lookbook, every 3 months. And then that is the perfect opportunity. I just let them know you're going to hear from me every 2 to 3 months from this point forward. And unless you buy a new product, and then I'll follow up with you to see how you're doing with that. So follow-up is the key. And so next week, we're going to be talking about continuing to talk about falling in love with the process. Cannot wait to review your homework that you've just turned in from week 1. And I will be posting week 2 homework. Again, I want to emphasize to you that you don't have to do every single thing that's on the homework page, but the more you do, I can tell you, the more consistent you're going to become with your business. And each thing that's on the homework are things that you need to weave into your daily schedule, your weekly schedule, and where can you fit that in. So, and if you're wondering, how can I get 50 to 100 leads every single week? Let me give you a few suggestions. If you had 10 lead boxes out, you got 5 leads in each of those boxes, that's 50 leads. Let's just say you did that. You got 10 lead boxes out. You found a restaurant to partner with. You found 4 restaurants to partner with. You go to 1 restaurant a week every month. That way you're only hitting each restaurant once a month. You also get out and honor some women, maybe once or twice a month. Partner with somebody to do these things. It makes it so much more fun. I hope you have had a fabulous week. I hope that Club Red is totally something that you look forward to every single week. And I cannot wait to see the results of our business when we wrap this up in 4 weeks. We will celebrate, you guys. I promise that you will. Every single one of you will end the month as a red jacket if you will allow me or your recruiter to work with you to get through that chicken list, to talk to every single person between now and April 30th. You guys, I love you from the bottom of my heart. I don't know how to express it any more than that. I believe in you. I want you to have absolutely everything that you are supposed to have and so much more than you could ever dream of. And so I hope you have a wonderful week, and I will be talking to you. Thanks.